Shalom. All praises be unto Yahweh, Bashim Shai, Bashim Kakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of great most and well. Shalom to the elect. This is Daily Star. As you can see, the title says, I eat raw salmon from the packet. It's definitely giving me worms, but I don't care. See this stupidness of people? Could be a Jake, could be an Edomite. But nevertheless, off, man. Yeah. Eating uncooked meats, man. Off. Eating meats that contain blood in it. Off, man. But guess what? She's facing the judgment. Because look what she said. It's definitely giving me worms, but I don't care. Now that's that pride. I don't care. Do as I want. Our demonic Aleister Crowley spirit. And that vibration is being pushed all over the earth, man. And that's why you got so many degenerates and people facing regrets and end up in a point of no return. Anyways, it says Aji Waller said she has been eating store-bought salmon fillets as snacks, despite people telling her they're unsafe to eat. So she's been given the warning. She said it was getting boring to hear the same thing over and over again. It shows you that she has a demon. No brain. Her brain doesn't process taking heed or warning or doing or discipline for the right things. Because do you know why? Behaving and doing good is boring to people. That's what she basically said. Getting boring to hear the same thing over and over again. So she wants to do different things and explore and get caught up in wickedness. And that's the mentality of a lot of people in this world. And women too. They like to wander off in wickedness. They like to wander off in wickedness. Isn't that not what Eve did? Wander off in wickedness. Listening to other ideas. Yeah, listening to Satan's advice. Let's see if you can watch the video. And all of that is for attention, man. A woman ignores the risk of getting parasites and 8 fillets of raw salmon straight out of a packet from supermarkets. Ajiwola from Harrogate, North Yorkshire, is obsessed with eating raw fish and admitted that fresh salmon is her snack of choice. She went viral on TikTok after showing herself opening a packet of Scottish salmon fillets and ripping a chunk of it on a public transport. You see, look at this. Anyone else, or am I a wrongin? Wrongin meaning wrong. Yeah, but guess what? They enjoy being wrong. Women like her, demons like her, enjoy being wrong and careless. She asked, just missing the soy sauce, banging. Yeah, she's a Jake, man. But anyways, you see, all of this is for attention as well. Which reminds me of a scripture. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 6. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. No, the main point is folly is set in a great dignity, but the rich sit in a low place. We're the rich ones. The Israelites are the rich ones because the promises that are for us, man, of getting the kingdom, immortality, and owning the earth, man, everlasting salvation, man. Isaiah 45:17. Yeah, but we're in a low place, man. But we're spiritually rich because of what's promised to us. We're heirs of Yahweh Shai, man. Romans 8:17. But anyways, in this society, folly is set in great dignity. What's folly? And it goes into Strong's definition: silliness. Yeah, folly, silliness. Folly is like fools. So foolish behavior, silliness is set in dignity. It says height, high elevation, elevated place, height proudly of nobles. Marawam. Yeah. So outline with biblical usage, height. That's why it reminds me of it reminds me of a quote that on YouTube on Jake called, I think his name is what's his name? Duke Jackson. I forgot his name. The Jake YouTuber. O'Shea, I think his name. O'Shea Duke Jackson. One of the lines he says at the end of his videos, it says buffoonery is in an all-time high, which is actually a quote from the Bible. Folly is set in great dignity. That's exactly what he's basically quoting the Bible, but it's just using different terminologies or words. He says buffoonery is in an all-time high, which is true. Folly is set in great dignity. Folly is silliness, foolish behavior. Yeah, and this is what they do to get views. Why does not these Western countries shut her page down or rebuke her for what she's doing? Yeah, you're influencing other children and people to eat raw foods when there's side effects. Yeah, this is dangerous. You need to be shut down. Why don't they do that? No, rather she has most likely has million followers or views or whatever. But meanwhile, someone like Andrew Tate that speaks the truth about society and the dynamics between men and women, he gets shut down. Other people get cancelled for speaking the truth or doing something that is actually positive and makes sense. But anyways, Exodus 12, the point is in 19. I'm trying to get straight to the point. Verse 5, your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. This is on the Passover. When we're in Egypt, you shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire. So you got to cook when you eat your food. Eat your the flesh of the righteous animal that you're going to eat. You know, that's permitted in the law, Leviticus chapter 11. Because you have to mention that because there's certain foods, certain animals you can't eat, like pork, shrimps and crabs. Yeah, but lamb is a righteous food to eat. But even there's a way you have to eat as well. You know, you have to drain the blood and you got to roast it with fire, man. And they shall eat the flesh at the night, roast with fire. So in other words, be cooked. And unleavened bread and with bitter herbs that shall eat, they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw. Don't eat it raw, as this girl was doing. Nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the pertinence thereof. Obviously, this is scripture more specifically on the Passover and how we have to do things traditionally or ceremonially. But nevertheless, we have a custom of Jake, we eat our food, man. And when we eat our food, it's well done. It ain't raw. Yeah. Edomites, so-called white people, like to do that stuff like that. Yeah. Medium rare, with blood in it, barely cooked or not cooked at all. That's what Edomites like to do. Genesis 9. This is when the Lord made it available for Noah to eat flesh, flesh of animals, and obviously Noah knew what flesh to eat. When you read, I believe, Genesis 5, you know, the clean animals by sevens and the unclean animals by two. So Noah knew the law already. He knew what was clean and what was unclean to eat. Lord gave him that wisdom. But anyways, start from on the top. Genesis 9 from the top. And the Most High blessed Noah and his sons, and said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon the earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you, even as the green herb have I given you all things. Because at that point, Noah and everyone else with him were eating, the greens, man. You can basically say they were vegetarian or vegans for a certain point, because, hey, the animals need to populate more, man. We just had a flood, so there need to be a mass replenishment of the animals, especially the righteous animals. Anyways, verse 4, but flesh with a life thereof, which is the blood thereof, shall you not eat. So you ain't supposed to be eating food raw, and it's not supposed to be eating when you're cooking the food. You gotta drain the blood, man. Yeah. Leviticus 19 verse 26. It says, ye shall not eat anything with the blood. So you gotta drain the blood, man. Can't eat things raw too. Neither shall use enchantments nor observe times. And guess what? Funny enough, a lot of these dark magic, black magic, juju, judge, whatever you want to call it, dark arts, they like to involve raw food and uncooked food, animals, or raw food, whatever, or drinking the blood, man, of animals, man. They do all that off shit. If you notice in dark magic, they actually do things like that. Drinking the blood, eating the food raw. But guess what? When you read in the scriptures, when there was a offering, or when there's an offering which was righteous, what was happening? The animal, like the bullock, the lamb, the turtle doves, or whatever righteous animal it was roasted with fire, man. Yeah, it was roasted with fire. But the left hand side, they do the opposite. They don't do stuff like that. They usually drink the blood, make sure it's raw, uncooked, and stuff like that. So you see, there's the righteous side of doing things and there's the off side of doing things. But guess what? Look what's happened to that lady. She said she's got worms all over. So imagine how her insides look like, because all of that demonic behavior. And that's only just by eating raw foods. Yeah? She got dark demonic energy within her, man. Don't be surprised if she loses her life, or she ends up in the hospital because of her being rebellious, because she's been warned, and being wicked, man, for the acts that she's doing. But anyways, with that, shalom.